Yeah, a little bit. I got, I'm trying to remember, I think a 1 meg, and I'm trying to remember the value of the cap. I got it written down somewhere. It's been a long time.
Yep. Yeah, well, I find wrapping negative feedback around the audio and whatnot pays off big dividends. I'm using a much Mobile Twins G77 transmitter and a G66 receiver. And I did a lot of work on the receiver audio, and I'm very happy with it. And both of you are sounding really, really good here in the bunker.
Yeah, how you copying to me, Perry?
So you were right in my noise level, Tim, so I popped on the W2SDR, but I can make out probably 75% of what you're saying at the QTH, but that's with a 10/9 noise level. This makes you want to jump off a bridge.
Yeah, well, only running about 25 watts, so I'm going to be wrapping it up and heading down the hill here, and maybe on a little later running a whole lot more power than this, but, you know, I just been listening with great interest with Clark attempting to DF the whoever is dumping that carrier. I'm curious as to who is doing it and why, but I heard the name of Montague, Massachusetts, which is probably not that far from Steve QIX, and that's probably why it has such a loud signal. I think Steve is in ground wave range of that thing.
Well, he may be a good hope to try to find out who it is.
Maybe.
And I looked it up. I have a 1 meg with a 0.01 for feedback.
Yeah, okay. Myself, I don't bother with the capacitor. You know, the 0.01, you probably, you know, puts a hook in the deep low end, probably at too low a frequency for the audio output transformer to pass, but so be it.
All right, well, look, maybe I'll look for you later, Tim. Your 25 watts is making it down here. Not real strong, but it's making it.
Is it Montague?
Yep. All right. Well, I'm going to crawl back into the woodwork. I want to get out of here. It's dark. I want to go down. I want to kick back. I want to relax. I've been busy working and crawling around. One more shelf to go, and I'm done. I'll see you guys later. This is WA1HLR.
Is it Montague?
See you, Tim.
All right, Tim, take care. We'll look for you later. W3MMR.
Hey, Perry, they said Montague.
What?
Well, Montague is right next door to the next city over.
Well, how strong is the carrier on 3885 then to you?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, there's a carrier on 3885 that's relatively strong for the rest of us. That if you're a town over from Montague, within a few miles of it, I would guess that it might be pretty strong if you're only a few miles from it.
Yeah, it's just less than 10 miles. And how would I know? Would I just, if it's just a carrier, and look at my strength meter, right?
Yeah, just go down. There's nobody on 3885 right now. Just go down there and see what the signal you're getting on 3885 is.
Yeah, I'm using that Q multiplier now so I don't hear that carrier coming in.
I guess it's working pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I don't even hear it, do you?
No. Especially with the Anon, I just pull a passband over the hair.
I'm hearing it just a little bit in here, a little bit of a hiss if I shut the multiplier off, but... Yeah, well, what are you going to do, you know? Yep, what are you going to do? Did you text Betsy?
I didn't message her yet. I was going to wait to do it till tomorrow. I'm sure she's probably busy. Well, you know, let me do it tonight. I'll do it after I get off of here.
All right. Yeah, Tim was really weak.
25 watts from Maine. It was right at my noise level. I could make out, a few words there, but it's obviously much easier on WebSDR that's relatively close to him.
Barry,
Bruce.
is that what's making it hum?
That would probably be it.
Okay, alright, this is KC-15 Pet Romeo Foxtrot.
Alrighty, KC1FRF. Yep, it's been there for 2 days now. It's giving me about a 15 to 20 over signal. So it's relatively strong, and I believe it to be malicious, as do the rest of us.
Now this one of these dial lights is blinking.
I think someone died.
No.
Yep, I think that's what happened. WL7B died right on the microphone. What a way to go.
Alright, just falling over with your head on the D104 there on the base. Phew. Probably start to stink by now.
Yeah, another day or two. You'll be able to tell by the signal because it'll smell a little bit.
Which light is flickering there, Pop?
The main tuning one, it's just flickering just a little bit. It's probably bulbs, probably a little loose, or a little bit of dirt in the bayonet base.
Yeah, probably a little corrosion on there or something. That's an easy fix. Well, you can just lift the lid up on that, K, or no? You can't do that with that one.
Yeah, the 140X you can lift the hood up. But that's a bad sign with a radio. It's got a lift up hood.
Yeah, easy access. That's it with this 303. That's why I haven't, number one, I rarely take it off of 80 meters, but number two, if I ever go to another band, so I haven't changed the dial cord in it, because I can just lift the lid and rotate the drum.
There you go. That makes it convenient, Yeah, but, to lift up the lid, there's really no reason except to change the tubes and the bulbs, but I guess there used to be 47 or 1847 bulbs in this thing. But the voltage is higher now, so the bulbs don't last as long. You put little drop-in resistors in there, I guess, but I'm not going to be changing none of that stuff on this thing. The bulb burns out, I'll just keep putting them in, that's all.
There you go. Yeah, I gotta, speaking of which, you reminded me, this little wall wart that I'm using for the 10-tech tuner of mine, for the bulbs in there, it says 12 volts on the, on the wall wart itself, but I checked I was in there because I had LEDs, 12-volt LEDs that, go right in those little bayonet sockets, and I went to put those in there to replace the wheat bulbs, and it kept blowing out, so I was like, man, let me check the voltage on here, and it's almost 19 volts, so I'm going to have to replace that wall wart unless I want to keep replacing wheat bulbs. The LED bulbs lasted maybe 10 seconds a piece before they blew up.
Well, you can put the LEDs in there with the right drop-in resistor. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I could do that, or I could find another wall wart that's the proper size.
Well, if you got that wall wart, if you're gonna go to LEDs in anyway, just replace the resistors. There's programs out there. You probably need about a 2K resistor would probably do it.
Yeah, well, these things are specifically designed for 12 volts. The ones I bought, they fit right in the socket.
Oh, okay. Well, then, I don't know. Do what you got to do. I never bothered with them. I just got regular LEDs and used drop-in resistors. That's all I have to do.
Oh, yeah, I have a bunch of them regular LEDs, too. I have a bag of them. But I got these because of the, I didn't want to, that's when I got them for the NC303, and, and I didn't want to be cutting stuff up and hacking stuff up in there, and because it's got four bulbs in the drum, and I didn't want to have to. I just thought it'd be easy to get them, LEDs that would just pop right into the socket, which is the only reason why I have them. So that's why I probably got a whole bag of the ones that I've been, they'll go into the socket there. So I figured I might as well use them up. So I didn't use them in the 303s. I didn't like the way it looked. It was too white. So I put the wheat bulbs back in there. W3MMR.
Why don't you just put the original bulbs in there? I mean, they'll last long enough.
That's what I did. I left them in there. I left the all the original ones in the 303, and I just left the original ones in the Ten-Tech for now. I don't know. I thought the white, the white lights would look, would look better, but they're real white, and it made it look worse. It looked horrible. It didn't. It just made everything stand out. Like when you looked at the receiver, that's all you could notice was how white everything was.
Yeah, this cathode bypass cap really made a difference the longer I'm listening to this. This other thing was dried out. It probably wasn't doing anything. Just a high resistance, so it's like having no bypass cap. So I'm glad I got rid of it. I should put the ohmmeter. If it's shorted, the tube would really run hot. It would still work, but it would really run hot if you ground the cathode. I'm going to send you a link a little later, explain the whole cathode bypass resistor thing in tube theory. You'll learn a lot by watching this little video. You really would. Yeah, it's, get rid of that old junk, man. Just use the SDR, man. The Anon doesn't have any light bulbs in it.
Yeah. You need to get rid of all that other stuff. Well, that's the cool thing about having that other stuff. We're having the Anon. I don't feel like messing with nothing. Just come over here and hit power on the computer. Double click. Start talking.
Yeah. Oh, are you on the Anon right now?
Yes, sir.
Where's all your buddies at?
Well, Blaine was down on he was on 85, and then we went to scoot down because of the carrier, because I was going to do a recording for him, and I did the recording, and then that's when you popped in, so I popped up here. But Clark was on 85. I don't know where he went.
Well, see, that DX160 of his, that Radio Shack receiver, when it's got QRM like that, it's broad as a barn door. It's like having a diode detector. He probably he can't hear with that thing.
Yeah, you're probably right. And I know when there's guys, real close, especially on like 3880, he's always having a time with them.
Well, see, that's it. I mean, it's like, like Timmy was in here before, we're talking. All that stuff is great, in the laboratory or when there's no one else on. You get battle conditions like tonight, them receivers are useless. I mean, you got to have some knobs to twist and be able to, or null that stuff out, or you're not going to be able to hear it. You're not going to be able to be on.
And driving yourself nuts. Yeah, that's another nice thing about this Anon. Just pull that passband over just a little bit, whoop, and it all goes away.
Yeah, well, you can do that stuff with a good receiver like this one or your 303. But you start widening things up and doing all that stuff, you may as well forget it. You'll hear them heterodynes from people 5 kilohertz away. You'll hear rumbling of the bass that's getting in the way of being able to understand the people. There's a reason why they did stuff the way they did in these things. You can go a little bit one way or the other.
Well, oh yeah, I'll be able to knock it right out, that heterodyne or the carrier right out with the 303. be able to knock it right out. And that's the good thing about that 303 is there's so many different bandwidths I can choose from too. I can choose a really wide bandwidth at plus or minus, I believe plus or minus 6. Or I can really narrow it up to plus or minus 3, 3 kc. So, and then I can choose all the different, different tones, just highs, just mids, just lows. I choose anything. And then it's got the Q multiplier and basically a notch filter, and all that stuff works on the thing too. So. I just wish my noise wasn't so bad, But then, that brings up another point. Like with, when I get real bad interference sometimes, like it's just that constant, noise floor. I throw in that diode limiter on that thing, and it knocks it right out.
Well, so you going off the detector and stuff like that, and broaden that audio. That noise limiter is not going to work. You see, there's... I know what you want to do and how you want to do it, but, that's why I said keep that receiver as stock as possible, because I'll tell you, I wouldn't give up that diode noise limiter for anything.
Oh, that's the thing. I could keep it stock and just come off, like you said, just tap off of it and use it, basically when conditions are good. And then put it back to the way it was when need be.
Well, like when you're copying somebody like me that pins your S meter, that's when you do it.
Yeah. And when you're copying someone like me, you can twist all those knobs.
Come back again with that?
Yeah, right.
You're like 30 to 40 over, man. You got this S meter up to a 40.
Yeah, that's where you're about at. A little over 40 on the Bob meter. I like that Hammerlin picture, man. That's what they had women putting them things together, man. That's a classic picture there. That looks like a 129. You see the faceplate? Yeah, that's the first thing I noticed. Well, besides the gigantic soldering iron, the 500-watt soldering iron she's got in her hand. And I noticed the 129 faceplate.
Well, I had to use my big blade soldering iron, the big chisel one, to solder the ground tabs on that multi-section capacitor right to that heavy chassis. I needed all the wattage I could get to solder those tabs.
Oh, yeah, because that chassis dissipates that heat, man. So you gotta have something really hot, to keep that heat constant.
That soldering iron dims the lights in the shack.
It's hard to find them big soldering irons like that. A lot of them are really, really old. You find them at like flea markets and stuff.
I know. I'm not getting rid of that one I got, that Unger, man. That thing is the bomb when it comes to that stuff. I pulled it out for that chassis. I can't believe I had that multi-section over in the shop.
It's not surprising all the crap you got over there.
I found another one today. The same values for one of these receivers over there. Brand new, never used.
Got my name all over it when I get mine.
Well, I don't know. It might be drying out. I'll have to put it on the tester. Yeah, that little tester measures everything, and it's accurate, too. Really, really accurate when it comes to the capacitance and all. So, yeah, this amp gets hot, man. I ratchet jaw on this thing. Yeah, this tube is definitely running cooler. I put my hand on the top of this receiver, and I bet you that capacitor was wide open. I should have the digital meter over here. I'm going to measure the resistance of it. Yeah, check out this. Do you still have that schematic of that amp kit I sent you?
Yes.
Well, that doesn't really make that much of a difference. If you watch that video later I sent you, it explains the whole thing with cathode bypass capacitors and audio stages with tubes. You'll learn an awful lot by watching that video. And and you'll see what I'm talking about.
All right, yeah, I'll watch it when I get off here. How about that little amplifier I bought, man? I got a good deal on that thing. There's other ones on eBay that are like with missing tubes. It looked like it got ran over. That were going for like almost $200. For like destroyed.
Well, that's a matter of opinion, a good deal. I can't get it past that those amplifiers were like $20 back in the day.
Well, I know, but I'm talking about in the grand scheme of things for what you can get them for now.
Well, what you can get them for now, well, I guess if you look at it that way. Oh, this on the ohmmeter, this capacitor's a joke.
Speaking of that tester, man, I would have been, that saved my life. Remember when I was blowing up all them transistors and that amplifier I had? That saved my life with that.
I can't remember how much that cost. It was so cheap, and that thing does everything. It'll measure everything: capacitance, inductance, resistance, you name it, transistors. It does it all.
Yeah, I know. The thing's great. And I like how you got it like set up on a little holder. Well, you know, for yours. I don't have that. I keep mine in a little static bag that I got with it. You gave me with it, and you know, I made up the test leads for it with the alligator clips. And every time I need it, I just pull it out of the bag, hook the battery up to it, and go.
Well, that's a circuit board holder. Like if I work on boards, circuit boards, like with the FT101, I mean, put it in that clamp, that thing's the bomb.
Yeah, I know, that thing's nice. I've been meaning to get a new one of them third hands, you know, to hold stuff while you're soldering. I got a real old one. It's like falling apart. The alligator clips are falling off of it. It's like, well, I think I got it at Radio Shack. You know, it's got the metal base, and it used to have a magnifying glass on it. And I got like one alligator clip left on the thing.
Yeah, I got one of them. It's buried under all that junk on my bench. Somewhere on there. Oh, man, I didn't even eat dinner or nothing yet tonight. I think the band started going on. I still hear you real good, though. But, yeah, you watch that video on that, you'll learn a lot. There's a driver tube and a final tube. For audio, like a 12AX7, something like that, 6V6 standard output tube on there. And you'll see cathode resistor. Guy goes over to grid resistors and all the rest of that, man. It's like tube theory. Now, see, I was disagreeing with Tim a little bit on that cathode capacitor. Now, you'll see when you watch that video. Now, I knew this before I watched the video. All that stuff's in formulas. With the tube, the impedance of the tube, the grid resistor, and everything else. You get to a certain level, you can increase capacitors. I don't care how much you increase them, and you're not going to get any more bass out of it. You're going to get to a certain point, and that's going to be it. So for a 6AQ5 with a 1 meg grid resistor like that, 25, 30 microfarads for a cathode bypass with a 470 ohm resistor, you're down to like 20 hertz already. You know, so you go to a 47, it might be a 15 hertz. Nobody's going to hear that. You're not going to have that speaker. Your mod transformers are going to pass it. You go to 100, and it's like, you know, I mean, it's not going to hurt anything, but it's also not going to do anything either.
Right, it makes sense. But I guess, you know, it's one of them things where if you could do it, why not do it, you know? But that's the great thing about this hobby, you know. There's many different ways to skin a cat, you know. I'm just anxious to see how that little amplifier is going to work. I could probably hook that thing up like I got the other one hooked up. Just off this, you know, I have right off the speaker jack on the back going into my little amplifier now.
Well, you can do that, but it's not going to do anything. It's just going to amplify what's already coming out of there anyway. Well, what you were saying before, there is a lot of ways to skin a cat, but there really isn't a lot of ways to skin a cat. I mean, the math don't lie. I mean, you can do things that won't deteriorate it any, but also aren't going to make any difference either. In other words, it's not going to do any damage, okay? But it's also not going to do anything, because the math doesn't lie. Those cutoff frequencies and all that, it's simple mathematics. That's all there is to it. There is no mystery to it. No mystery at all. Anyway, you'll learn a lot by reading that. I'm going to sign because I want to go up and eat. I'm getting hungry. And I asked Betsy, I forgot that she doesn't do hair anymore, but she likes me better with a beard, too.
Oh, yeah, I mean, no doubt. And the color and everything, too. I don't even remember what it looked like being all white. Because everything was all white, you know, for my entire 30-some-odd years on this earth. No, it's not. You know, I like it the way it is. You know, I don't think you should change it at all. But no, real quick, what I meant by, you know, different ways to skin a cat was, you know, you could, you know, it's just like, you know, people do things, you know, just because you can do it, you know, and, you know, it's all I'm saying, you know, you can do it. If you can do it, people will do it, you know. Like you see, you know, like you said, the math doesn't lie. It doesn't mean it's going to do anything, but you can still do it. But anyway, all right, man. We'll catch up here a little later. I'm gonna go relax. Tired. Today was kind of boring at work. It was like one of those days where you didn't do much. It was more like standing around. It almost gets me more tired than working all day. So I had to go eat too, and I'm gonna pop on this video when I get off of here. Go grab a bite to eat and watch that video. So good talking to you, good hearing you. Sounded good, man. Big signal. 101 sounded great, and big signal the whole time. Take care, W2SDR or W3MMR.
Well, you know what I was saying before, like, Betsy is a hairdresser, right? Now, you know what she said to me? She says, well, those guys that color their hair, you know, I don't really go for that at all. And I'm thinking, it's like, well, she's a hairdresser and don't even notice. You know what I'm saying? The other thing is, well, you watch that video, the other thing we were talking about earlier, about go to 100 microfarad and all the rest of this stuff, you'll see what I was saying in that conversation. You'll see when you watch that video about the calculator and how all that stuff works out, frequency cutoff and the rest of it. Very interesting, and you're right in with that now with this audio amplifier that you're getting, so that's right up your alley. All right, I'll catch you later. I'll probably watch TV a while, maybe see if I can find a movie or something while I'm cooking dinner. Catch you later. You get a good signal the whole time. Band's getting longer, but man, your audio sounds great coming through this receiver. W3MMR, W2SDR, 73.
All right, man. That's real good. Appreciate the compliments. And pop that video on. Get my learn on. Take care. 73. W2SDR. W3MMR. QRT. See ya.